So today I'm going to show you how to make this Japanese Asparagus Shirae, and it is the perfect creamy tofu sauce at its most basic. It's tofu, sesame seeds, and a bit of soy sauce, and it just goes so well with any vegetable. I'm going to deal with the asparagus. So I think I got this from my odd box, so I think it's fairly older asparagus. These you can save for stock. People always say that, and I never end up doing anything with them, but they are good in stock. So what I might do if I'm not making stock today is to just stick it into the freezer. And then once you've collected enough vegetables, you can make yourself a vegetable stock. I've also tried shaving off the outsides and eating them too, but they are quite fibrous, especially for the bigger pieces. These, I'm gonna slice them probably into 3, but on the bias. This under cold water. Okay, so we'll start off draining the tofu. So really you're just using it as kind of like a dressing, so you don't need to worry too much about the shape of it. You're supposed to put a weight, kind of like a heavy weight on this for about 30 minutes. I usually get really lazy and antsy, so I'm just gonna do this. Okay, nothing too intense. I think 30 minutes will do something like that, so just strain this out. Now, this is how I like to make like a lot of cakes, like cheesecakes and whatnot too, is to just squeeze out some of the liquid from the silken tofu, and then you have something very similar to like a farmer's cheese. Is that what it's called? Kind of like ricotta farmer's cheese. I have 4 tablespoons of toasted whole sesame seeds. So still quite coarse, not overly ground. Put our tofu back. Put in some unrefined sugar or date sugar. Soy sauce. Red miso. And then the toasted sesame seeds. toasted sesame seeds are so fragrant, and they add like a nice like creamy richness to something that doesn't have oil in it. I mean, other than for the sesame seeds. So it's always a really nice, kind of like ground up sesame seeds are a really nice ingredient to add to like dressings and sauces like this. It's so creamy and kind of a little bit sweet just from the tofu already. Yeah, I would say that this is more of a creamy and sweeter mix. So if you wanted to go more on the salty side, then that'd be nice too, but it really depends on what you like. You can just kind of eat this as is. That's really nice. Really nice, actually. So you can dress this all together, or you can actually, I'd say, serve it individually and then dress it then as well. Okay, so I am going to take photos of this one, so we're not touching this one, but as usual, can have some of the chef's share. I didn't make enough asparagus because I only had an amount, so all right, so let me show you a piece first. Focus. This piece. Okay. I had actually already tried a little bit of the cream prior, but it is creamy from the silken tofu already, so it's like a little bit creamy, sweet. It is creamy from the ground sesame. Creamy, rich, nutty from the ground sesame. And then you have obviously like a little bit of salt from the miso, from the soy sauce, just to, you know, kind of pick everything up. You have like the sugar, so it's like sweet and salty. And I would say it's a good mix in between of both. Like it is kind of sweet, like it's probably a bit sweeter than I would associate with like dinner food, but in terms of a dressing, that might be completely fine. But so there is that sweet side, there is that kind of savory, salty side. So it's like kind of like this perfect mesh. I would say that if you leaned towards either you were a saltier eater or a sweeter type eater, you could put less of the miso or the soy sauce if you wanted it to be less salty and more sweet, or vice versa, less sweetener on the other side. But it reminds me a lot of like, you know, like miso ice cream or some kind of, you know, ice cream where they have something salty in there. So that's kind of a little bit of what it reminds me of. It's not too sweet. It's not sweet like ice cream, but it is kind of that, you know, somewhat, you know, like a whipped cream type sweet, like a little bit of sweetness. So it's my first time trying something like this. So I actually really like it. I tend to find Japanese foods and Japanese recipes kind of, I find them on the sweeter side. Like for me, I like things a little bit more on the saltier side, but it's actually quite good. It's very nice. They're really nice flavors. So this is something where this tofu dressing you can put on any type of vegetable. So, you know, definitely would work for something like broccoli, maybe even like roasted, I don't know, zucchini, would that work? I don't know. Give this a try for yourself first. Mix it with your favorite vegetables or I don't know, eat it on its own. So there you go. There's a taste test. Voila. Recipe is down below. Okay, so I will see you all again next time. Bye.